What's up, everybody? It's your boy ShowtimeDr. I'm back! So, I wanted to go over a guide with you guys on how free-to-play friendly, or is Final Fantasy Brave Exvius free-to-play friendly. So, right here on my login screen, the premium currency, you can see it in the upper right here. That's going to be basically crystals again. Most games it's crystals, some games they got their own special currency. But I wanted to pause on my login bonuses so you guys could see just how much you get. As you can see here, it's like almost every other day, you know, at the beginning of the month, and then it spreads out, and then eventually they start giving you more of these gold, I always forget what those are called, the gold turtles or whatever, which not as exciting, unfortunately, but hey, if you're new to the game, maybe you like it. Also, they give us 10+1 and 5+1 summon tickets, so that's actually fairly sexy. So the login bonuses are generally pretty good. On occasion, there'll be a separate event, so you'll get a second login bonus, and a lot of them oftentimes they either have crystals as well, or they may have like a special currency you're supposed to farm for, you know, whatever event's going on, because there's always a different currency depending on the event. I'm gonna go ahead and throw the music on, because I usually don't have the music on when I'm streaming. But music's actually pretty good in this game, so let me throw it on here before I continue. Now, before you understand how free-to-play friendly this game is, you actually are going to need to understand what you can do with the currency, because there are a couple different things. And so before we get into that, let me just get these out the way, then we'll begin. This will take me like 20 seconds. For those wondering what this is basically you send your characters out and they have a chance to get whatever these rewards are listed. And the better geared they are, higher level, more skills, etc., the higher the success rate's gonna be. Oh, that was funny. It actually glitched there, so then... yeah, maybe it didn't, whatever. Alright, just one more. So what I wanted to say about the free-to-play aspect of this game too is, not only are there a lot of things you can do with the crystals, but in general you actually want to usually hoard the crystals for specific banners most of the time. So let's go over it now. So the number one thing you can do that everyone wants to do, usually with all their pay currency, is summon units. Now in this game, they have a half summon. It's half off, it's not a free summon. So essentially the rates, let's see if I can find the rates. Not that high, honestly, for a gacha game. You got 3% on your 5-star, which another game I played, Knights Chronicle, has 4.2%. And then your 4-star, 19%, etc. Now, there is a chance, however, of like a blue crystal upgrading itself to a yellow crystal. I don't actually know what the chance of that is, but essentially to do a half summon, it's going to cost you 250 crystals, which I highly recommend even if you're new. Do your half summon every day. Let's go ahead and do ours. And you see all the lovely rainbows in the background flying away as we get a blue. So, now even some blue heroes in this. Actually not bad. Like Domino actually has a pretty good TMR. TMR is called the Trust Mastery reward. You get it, the more copies you get of characters, and there's this farmable resource called Moogles, which you can get and actually increase it, as well as just taking them around a little bit. But this is cool because HP 20%, defense percentage goes up 15, a little bit of base stats. And then you're completely protected against paralysis, so that's actually not too bad. It's pretty good to throw on tanks whenever there's not like a huge resistance, you know, huge resistance thing going on, as far as you need 100% resistance. Now there's also different types of summons. Step-up summons, depending on the banner, it's going to tell you, hey, you know, you're going to have a great chance of getting whatever the banner units are, which in this case are these heroes, at the end. But until then, you give us 4,000 crystals, you'll get a 5% Trust Moogle, the thing I was talking about with the Trust Mastery. To all Trust Masteries for 10%. You know, not terrible. Then after that, 5,000, when you do a 10+1 summon, you're going to get, your 5-star rate's going to go up ×2, so that 3% is going to turn into 6%. Is how I'm reading it. There might be some funky math there. And then a guaranteed featured 5-star summon unit, so you're guaranteed going to get one of these units. It might not be the one you want, but you're guaranteed to get them. There's lots of banners like that. They've been putting them out a lot more lately. And then they have some specials, you know. You just go. Now, there are ticket summons as well. You don't have to summon with Lapis. Your ticket summon, depending on the type you get, like in this case, this brings your 5% chance up to 10%. There's also 30% 5% chances. Very rarely there will be a guaranteed 5-star event, but I've seen it like once or twice, so it's not that often. And then you got your 4-star guaranteed and your rare tickets. That's your basic 3% chance to pull a 5. Now, getting tickets is actually fairly... There's lots of ways to get tickets in this game, from quest rewards to logging in. On occasion, it's going to be part of an event that's going on, where the event drops certain currency and you can go to the King Mog shop and actually buy the tickets. So there's actually lots of ways to get summon tickets in this game. And you can see these are all the banners they got going on. And then over here on occasion, you know, they're going to have different banners, but usually it's either raid related or event related. Like these events have actually been gone for a while for the most part. There was that 5-star guaranteed 10+1. They also had a regular 5-star guaranteed. Now, one thing a lot of people have missed, they've actually implemented this rewards wheel. The rewards wheel is basically you spin it and an ad plays. I'm not actually going to show the ad, but an ad plays, you know, it's like 20-30 seconds, and you click at the end of it, you come back, and there's going to be a wheel, as you can see right here. It's going to have crystals, and there's also going to be energy potions, which give you 10 energy per potion. So one of the things when you start out in this game, you're going to have a very low energy bar. It'll reset a bunch because you're low level, so you're going to be leveling a lot, but eventually, you know, you're going to be trying. I remember when I first got 100, that was like the most amazing feeling in the world. Now I'm at 143. I think the max rank is somewhere in the 200 to 300s. But you get 1 energy once you get past rank 100. You get 1 energy every 2 ranks, I believe is how it works. So it's not that crazy. But, you know, there are chances there up to 100 crystals. I have gotten 100 crystals, but usually it's like 10 to 30 and then energy pots. But energy pots help you farm more, so not a bad thing. So that's the number one thing you're going to be doing with your crystals. Now, another thing you're going to be doing, you come down here to the shop. You're going to be needing to buy slots. Now, slots, unfortunately, you have to buy slots for everything. So your total unit capacity, the amount of friends you can have, materials that you use to construct things with, items such as elixirs and, you know, stuff like that that you need to hold. Equipment, like I said before, abilities. There's different abilities in this game. And as you level it up, if you got these ticket vouchers, which are actually fairly hard to get, you can just expand it with a voucher. It's 5 per. So as you go up, you see that can get pretty hefty if you want a max leveled, you know, ability thing. Now, it's going to cost you 100 crystals per 5 slots. You actually are going to need to do this because, you know, it's one of those types of games to where you start out with like a 100 or 200 inventory. So you can see I put mine at 1,000 for my units, and I can go even higher if I want. But 1,000's pretty, because there's so many units in this game, and you're going to be filling that up all the time. So that's another thing you're going to be doing now. I was just seeing what that was. There's also little things you can spend it on that I usually don't recommend, like if you wipe in a dungeon or a raid boss or whatever, you can spend 100 Lapis. Lapis is the crystal currency in this game. And you can basically revive with all of your limit bursts up. Usually that's not going to be what you want to do in this game because it's a waste of Lapis for the most part, because you could just wait for the energy. Now, I'm trying to think if there's any other. There's probably like one or two other things you could spend Lapis on. But those are the ones that you're gonna usually come across. You know, it's just your typical thing. You can rush things, you can buy packages. Like, for instance, there's bundles here. And, you know, a lot of it's the pay bundles, but there are some Lapis bundles. So you can get a 4-star guarantee ticket and a Trust Moogle. I think that's a 5%. Yeah, whatever. And, you know, that's going to cost 3,000 crystals. That's generally not worth it. For the most part, most of the things in here aren't going to be worth it. But on occasion, there are, like, specials that a lot of people actually do recommend. Like, for 500 crystals, this one's actually not too terrible. But, you know, you can farm all that stuff up, too. So that's another thing you can use Lapis on. Alright, so we're going to get into the ways that you can farm Lapis in this game. Now, one of the ways you can farm Lapis, I believe, let me look at the rankings. Yeah, so every day that you do this arena, your first and your fifth, this is the PvP in the game, your first and your fifth thing are going to give you basically 20 Lapis each, so it's 40 Lapis a day, which is pretty good. There's no weekly Lapis bonus, or monthly Lapis bonus, unfortunately, but I mean, you're getting 40 crystals a day, that's pretty good. You times that times a month, that's 1,200 Lapis a month, you know, assuming you're participating 5 times a day. And it's participate, I think. It's not you have to win, per se. Yeah, participation rewards, so, you know. Here's your participation trophy, guys. So there's that. You can also get it out in the world, and basically anything that you can do a mission on. There's going to be different, you know, like, hey, use this spell, or make sure no one dies, use a certain item, summon an Esper, etc., etc. There's always these mission rewards for all the missions. And you're going to get a hefty amount of Lapis from that, because you see here 20 for the total bonus, 10 for every other bonus. And that also happens in events, that happens in raid encounters, that happens in storyline, it happens in unit preview quests, etc. So, like when you go to Vortex here, just doing the Citra event, which I have yet to do. You get 100 Lapis for doing all these quests, and these quests, it's all pretty easy. So I actually need to get on that. I've been kind of lagging on what I've been doing there, but... So like I said, there's login bonuses, there's quest rewards, there's that PvP rewards. Now, other ways to get Lapis? I'm trying to remember. There are, let me find the tab. Forget where it is. I believe it's trophies, but I'm not sure if this gives you Lapis per se. Yeah, they do. So if you get, there's like, you know, depending on what you create or how many times you win in PvP, how many friend points you farm, etc., they will give you these rewards. And eventually when you get to the last thing, you're going to get Lapis for all those. So... just something to put out there. I believe this is, yeah, it takes you over here to the bundles. And then also the quests, there's daily quests. So you do all the daily quests. Sometimes it's 8, sometimes it's 5. You're going to get 50 Lapis a day, and most of this stuff isn't too hard to do on a daily basis. Now, I will say as a new player, the issue you're going to have is your energy management, because there's going to be so many awesome things going on in the Vortex, but you really should be pushing story. But there's so many awesome things going on in Vortex that it's really hard to balance all that and still have the energy to go and, you know, do world, do some of the raid encounters that are in the game, do some of the farming encounters that are in the game, and so it gets to be pretty crazy. Now also there are, like I said, there are secondary events. So secondary events, they're going to get you some Lapis. And then, let me check. Right now we have Still Castle. Forget what's called. Oh, this is a different event. Still Castle Melfinka. This is where you upgrade gear, but also on rewards. I'm checking to see if there's any Lapis rewards. Doesn't look like it. But a lot of times in raids, sometimes there'll be some Lapis rewards. It's not a lot, but it's there sometimes. So, to be perfectly honest, they actually give you a decent amount of the paid currency in this game. Now, unfortunately, you are not going to be able to summon as heavily as you want on all the banner, and they've been power creeping the banners pretty heavily. So, for instance, like I'll show you my teams here real quick. I think I might have kicked him off, actually, yeah. Well, anyways, there was this character named Hio. And Hio, when he came out, you watch all the videos, oh my god, he's meta-breaking. He's going to be so strong for X number of months, and he's one of the first 7-star units, because there's 7-star units in this game now, and it's been upsetting the meta. There's Rain here, Awaken Rain, he's actually 7-star. Which we'll get into, I'll do more videos on that, what all that means later. But essentially, what ended up happening was, I used to have, because you saw my tickets earlier, I think I have like 17. I used to have, wrong thing. God, it was like 80 or like 90 or something like that. I had a bunch of tickets, and I pulled really hard on what was the Hio banner, and I only got 1 copy of Hio. I was trying to get 2 copies so I could 7-star him. So, but in the process of doing that, I ended up getting 3 Awakened Rains. And Awakened Rain, right now, he's probably your most powerful magic tank in the game, which is pretty important in this game because you need a real strong tank, both physical and magic. So since I got 3 of him, I was thinking, okay, I need to invest in this guy because I really need a magic tank. So I mean, it worked out for me. Now that I'm looking at it, Awakened Rain is actually a little bit better for me than Hio because I have enough people to cover damage for the most part. But now the problem is, eventually, like I said, there's lots of power creep in this game. So right now I'll show you the 7-star units that are available. You can see it on this 5-star select. If I wanted to, I could get a 4th Rain. As you can see, he's right there. I could get a 4th Rain and get a super TMR. Here's Hio right here. Guy I was talking about, but they're slowly adding more and more 7-stars. So like this lady right here, if you get 2 of her, she destroys demons, and I believe she's strong against something else. She's Wind and, it's either Wind and Dark or Wind and something else, but she's super strong. And a lot of these characters are pretty strong. Like this guy's actually a pretty strong support. Or actually this guy rather, that's another thing. And you know, really good strong Dragoon over here, really strong caster, very strong support, really strong caster, etc, etc. So, but they keep making more and more of these units available, and before they put them over here, there's always a banner with them, and a lot of them, you want to have them, but unless you're paying money, you're not going to have the currency to be able to farm this stuff all the time. So you're not going to be able to pull on everybody and acquire everybody without spending money on this game, guys. That's just the way it is. You're going to get a fair amount of summon tickets. You're going to get a fair amount of Lapis. And it's up to you to choose which banners you're going to go for. In this particular case, like this particular banner, I don't really care about this banner. Right now. That could change. I actually hear that he's actually underrated, the Fire Veritas guy. But for the most part, I would love to have a second Barbacia. A second Barbacia would be great, but not so much that I'm willing to tank what currency I have left. I know, on a 1 in 5 chance of getting her, because maybe I'll get her just randomly, you know. EX Eileen's pretty good, but Rim I hear is pretty good. I don't know who that character in the middle is. Yeah, I have no idea who that is actually. Who is that? I can't tell. That might be Prish. Whoever. So anyways, but you are going to be able to invest in selected banners, I would say at the rate of about once every month and a half to 2 months. And what I mean by invest is you'll have enough crystals and you'll have enough summon tickets, and hopefully there will be enough events and rate banners and stuff that if you invest a fair amount into it, say at least 10,000 crystals, along with, you know, depending on how your RNG goes, it might be 20 summon tickets, it might be 60 summon tickets. But whatever it is that you got to invest, you should be able to acquire at least one of whatever you want. And granted, now we're at the point where you need 2 of whatever you want at least if you want to get the 7-star version for the higher tier stuff. But the game is still right now very workable with 6-star heroes. Having 7-star heroes is really nice, but it's still workable with 6-star heroes. When you compare all the other stuff you got to farm in this game, from TMRs to gear, raids, and all the various, you know, growth and XP and stat boosts, etc. So it's still very 6-player friendly, but I would guess probably over the course of the next year, you're really going to need to start hitting up and getting 7 stars as much as possible. So, because not only are you dealing with the PvE content that's going to be coming out, but the PvP, we're already starting to see it in PvP. A lot of people are running full 7-star teams with ridiculous gear that like burns your mana and inflicts every status ailment, stops you, you know, ridiculously huge HP nuker teams, and it gets to be pretty crazy. Teams that just won't die. So, but overall, guys, I wouldn't say that this game is super amazing free-to-play friendly, but you can still do it. You just have to be patient. If you're not a patient person, probably this game necessarily isn't for you, because it has a very deep, very hard to understand system as far as the gearing goes and the pairing of abilities with heroes and what does this mean, and when you get this, who's this item going to be the best on, who's the best tank, who's the best support, etc, etc. It all depends on what team you're running, guys. There's no universal answer. There are characters that excel at what they do, but in its circumstances, you can have non-optimal characters go, like budget teams, go around and do high-end content. Most of the high-end content in this game, and that's actually going to be some of the videos I'm going to be bringing you for this game in the future, is budget guys, because you can see my team. Yeah, I'll show you guys my box real quick so you guys can look. I guess this is the best way. Sort filter, rarity. So, the only 7 stars I have right now, Awaken Rain and Judge Zarg, which are 2 of the stronger 7 stars at the moment. Now, Noctis, I literally just got him. I got him while I was pulling for, I got him like 2 weeks ago while I was pulling for Hyo, which is funny. And then, you know, you can see everyone that's seen this game, they know how strong some of these characters are, their TMRs are. Like, she has one of the best TMRs in the game, True Double Hand. Sephiroth, he's all around, really great chainer with everybody. This is one of your best breakers in the game right here, CG Lid. One of your best Dragoons, if not the best Dragoon in the game right here. I could 7-star her if I want. She'll probably be my next 7-star. One of the best supports in the game. One of the top casters in the game. This one that could be the best support. Judge is actually eating his lunch right now because Judge can get 7-star, but when he gets 7-star, I'm sure he'll be fine. This is probably the best hybrid damage in the game if you can get her to 7-star at the moment. This guy is a TMR I'm farming. Liquid Metal Slime, ridiculous provoke tank, he's pretty funny. She's got a TMR I'm farming. These guys are 4 vent. Lightning, everyone should get a Lightning. If you're a new player, definitely farm up for your Lightning. She's very strong, actually. Delete is one of the beta breakers in the game. This guy's a decent TMR, etc, etc. So I could go over this all day, but just you guys that are watching my videos for the first time that know what characters do what. It's just a preview of my box right now. Now, I've gotten this from being very patient. I don't have 7-star everything. I don't have every hero I want, but the number one thing I want right now, there are 2 number one things I want right now. I would like to get another copy of Malfisi so I could 7-star her, which her banner unfortunately went away. I pulled with the remainder of my tickets on her banner and I didn't get anything. Except her, obviously, once, but that was a lucky half pull. And I would like a second Barbacia, and I would like to run them together, and then that way I could do hybrid dark wind damage, because I could wind damage with Barbacia, and then I could do dark damage with, you know, Fina's got a little bit of dark damage, and I can also, she has a little bit of dark damage, CG Sakura. And Sephiroth, I can give him dark damage if I want. I can get him a dark sword, but Anyways, it's just some of the plans I got for right now. So overall, guys, game's fairly free-to-play friendly, but the problem is you just got to pick your spots on what you're going to invest in and just pray to the RNG gods that you're going to get lucky and pull whatever it is you need to pull. Definitely do your half summons every day. Definitely do the ad watching thing every day. You know, get yourself some extra crystals, some extra energy pots. And overall, guys, the game's actually being really kind to us. It was a lot kinder when it was the 2nd anniversary, which was about 2 months ago, maybe 3 months ago now. They had so much free stuff they were giving out. It was crazy. They gave us a lot of good stuff. So if you missed out on that, that was unfortunate. But hey, even if you're thinking about playing this game in the future or you're just on lull for right now, you know, just start yourself an account, log in, do your half summon every day. That's literally all you have to do. You'll build up a decent box, you'll get some decent heroes, and before you know it, you feel like playing this game. Okay, cool. Let's do this thing, you know? So anywho, but that's going to be my guide for how free-to-play friendly Final Fantasy Brave Exvius is. I'm going to start putting out some, you know, some basic guides, like how the game works and stuff, because there's a lot of YouTubers, a lot of people that cover this game, and for the most part, they cover it really good, because this is a math-heavy game, but there's not so much a new player guide. There's not too many, this is what you need to understand about this early game stuff. There's not so much of that. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on early. And then I'll also be putting together budget guides as far as there's this hard event. Here are some heroes you can think of, either borrowing from your friends or maybe you yourself have the heroes or a hero that's similar. Get them this gear, get them this, and go do it, you know. Because the cool thing about this game right now is if you're an early game person and you manage to make a bunch of friends, a lot of the friends are using their 7-star units right now. So 7-star units are super OP to the point of early game content. You can wreck the greater majority of a lot of the raid content, as well as some of the event stuff that's going on, some of the story stuff that's harder in the game. So I'll be putting out guides on that for you guys over the coming weeks here. Now you're gonna have to be patient with me because I am moving over the course of next 30 days. I'm moving across country, so you know, I'm not driving 30 days, but I will be traveling and setting up stuff, etc., and saving money. So anyways, guys, I hope this guide was helpful for those of you guys that are either newer to the game or thinking about playing this game. This is all we got. Like, a lot of us older Final Fantasy players, this is all we have, unfortunately, because as far as turn-based RPG goes, because with a Final Fantasy flair to it, because as you know, ever since 10, 11 was an MMO, 12 was a single player that pretended like it was an MMO, 13, it's, you know, real-time combat, endless hallway, 14 is an MMO still, a good one from what I hear, by the way, and 15 is more of the real-time combat stuff. So for those of us that are really into the turn-based combat, this is all we have left, unfortunately. So, well, this and Alpra Omnia, but you know, and then some of the other Final Fantasy spin-off games. But anyways, I'm ranting, so yo, I'm ShowtimeDr, ShowtimeDr on Twitch. You found my YouTube, hit a like if you enjoyed the content. I'm also on, did I say Twitch? I meant YouTube. I'm also on Twitch, twitch.tv/ShowtimeDr. Look in title notes, there's a link to the Discord there. We got a Final Fantasy tab. It's not that active right now, but we also have a bunch of other gaming community tabs. And as I continue making videos of this game, guys, you know, maybe the community will grow. Come in, share your experiences, ask your questions. I know a decent amount, so I can answer them for you. And otherwise, guys, have yourselves a great evening. Take care.